Rajendra Prasad ji, I request you to occupy the dais. And also Shri Bilal Bhatt. Rajendra Prasad ji is from news. He is the news editor of ETV and he does lot of work. He is almost in the prominent position in ETV. So he does lot of our media, what we are seeing every day in and out. And Shri Bilal Bhatt ji, he is the network editor of ETV Bharat. He also is dealing with some in 13 languages. He deals on the desk and he does a lot of work within that, and if possible he will show us some small promo also in the session. Now I request both of them to take over this particular session and give the maximum inputs to all of us in the given time. Thank you very much, sir, for accepting our invitation and present within us. Amit sir, thank you so much.
Before we start, I just wanted to basically understand how many of you are from journalism background? Anyone from journalism background? Journalism. And how many of you are from the Copyright Intellectual Property Act, like the legal background? Because I saw the previous ma'am was talking about Intellectual Property Act. Because we don't want to discuss something which is alien to you. Because we are discussing the modern technologies in media. Not many people are there from, sorry? No, it has to be there in the, I'll do that. No, basically.
They are connected to that screen.
Yeah, I'll just finish. I actually wanted to show one of the promos I have done while covering Afghanistan in 2009. So I wanted to show you basically how media has intervened, how things have changed, the entire media landscape has changed. The ecosystem is completely different. That promo I'll show you. It took me almost complete day with a complete crew, camera assistant, lighting people, and then there were 2 assistants. And that promo can be done now with just one mobile. Right now, a reporter, a journalist writes a copy, and rest technology takes care. It is basically the content management system, which helps him develop, design, and then ultimately edit and publish the copy. It's simply a small one system. We are both practicing journalists. We are not teachers. We are not going to bore you with teaching stuff. You have gone through books. We will tell you practically. Because we are into hiring process, I was telling one of our colleagues here that I wish that people, those who come from universities, they are trained in actually a journalism which is modern journalism, not the traditional one. For example, a reporter right now is equipped with a mobile. I remember, like covering Holy Cave in 2004. We planned for 2 weeks that we had to cover an event at the altitude of 14,000 feet above sea level. It took me 3 dozen of people were hired because they had to carry a DSNG, the equipment, up to the level of 14,000 feet above sea level till Holy Cave. From there we had to go live, and we were the first in India to basically do that live coverage. The same live coverage can be now done with just a mobile, because I have with me around 3,000 reporters across India, and they all have mobile phones that is equipped with something called LiveView. You all be knowing about it. It's a small application. That application has replaced that 1-ton machine which I have used long back, 19 years back. Same way, this open broadcast man, you all are aware of, there is something called Backpack LiveView. That's a small bag. When I was sent to basically cover report from Middle East or from Afghanistan, same backpack would go with a huge BP jacket with a backpack, and that would be connected. Now you'll see reporters for CNN, BBC. In my team, I have like 3,000 reporters. Wherever they go, they have just mobile. We call them mojo journalists, mobile journalists. It has everything what we used to basically use, having 3 dozen people. Assistants, a tripod, basically I had one assistant who would carry a tripod. You have just a monopod. It is just few grams. But it serves the same purpose as it used to do 18 years, 19 years back. What is it that universities, institutions have to do? As journalists, I believe that they have to be trained in the modern technology. they should be able to understand how artificial intelligence, how these algorithms are designed. How when you basically serve, how when you browse, you see a story about entertainment, you see a story about business. In your mobile, you are flooded with information about the same subject. Why? It is the artificial intelligence in the back end. The coding, the algorithm serves you what you want to see. So this artificial intelligence has taken over. The traditional media, my colleague Rajinder is basically looking after the entire ETV. Obviously, it's one of the best media houses in the entire 2 states. They are using DSNG, they are using video audio mixers, they are using the traditional PCRs. In our systems, we have just softwares. I have in my mobile one editing software called Power Director. I can edit picture excellently without having a huge machine. Like the graphics card, the other card, this card, that card. I will name some of the, even you are not journalists, but you still, if you are research scholars, you are teachers in your faculties, you'll be using those pie charts. Remember, that's something called data visualization. You want to tell your story by using a data visualization method. How do you do that? Then you go to some graphic expert, you tell him that please design a graphic for me, make this pie chart for me. No, you don't have to do it. There's something called Flourish. It's a free tool, Google tool. That Flourish will give you just have to basically give data in Excel. It will give you data visualization story. You should just give it a map, India's map, and then give it data that these constituencies across India has this number of voters, this number of electorates, this number of polling booths. It will give you a map with that data visualization, beautifully done a story. There is something called, other than Flourish, there is another tool which we use for graphics. That also is the same tool. You don't need to basically, go graphic design will draw, then you have to transport it, then you have to do a lot of things. All these pains are not required. Earlier we used to have television. We used to call them media publishers. Like it was an unethical practice that this guy is basically doing armchair journalism. Why? Because this man is writing at the desk. He has to go into the field and then report and speak to the sources and then get back. Right now you have legitimate curators. You call them aggregators. And they are legalized. They design stories at the desk and then they publish them. They are aggregators. They are curators. The design basically at the news gathering or even when you do the research also, there is an information flood, mushroom growth of these social media platforms. It has brought basically a huge challenge for scholars, for journalists, for media publishers, but it has also given an opportunity for scholars. How? For journalists like me. And it's a great opportunity for me, for my colleagues across India, like 3,000, 4,000 people are there. But what they need to do is, they have to take a caution. They have to be aware of the fact-check tools. They have to be aware of something called InVid. InVid is a tool that will help you check the credibility of video. There are many tools that will help you check the credibility of the information, because it's a lot of information. As previous speaker was showing you, like the fake information, the right information, wrong information, how to basically differentiate between reality and surreality, how to differentiate between the fact and the fiction is what you have to be aware of. Otherwise, you will be misleading people. If you don't understand the tools, if you don't understand how to use them, there are a lot of jargons you can use. Canva is something you may be aware of if you are using these data visualization tools. Content management system is now used across, but because you are not from journalism background, but when you are writing something, there are basically, the pen and pad system is over. You have a mobile in your workstation. It's not just a computer, it's a CMS, content management system. It helps you design, it helps you edit the photos. When you are writing a research document, when you are writing a book, it helps you even edit the videos, then you publish them. There is something called data analytics that we use as media professionals. That data analytics, as ma'am was saying, that you give the input, you give the data, that data analytics will tell me that my story, how it has performed, how many people it has been viewed, and their demography, the location of that person who is reading my story, who is watching me, the person's gender I can get, the person's age I can get. It's a 360 analytics. When you train journalists, when you train your students, whoever is there in media department, EMMRC, what is it that they need to tell them? They need to basically grind them through these tools so that they basically change the methods. They come from traditional to the advanced, this media technology, whatever is being there, they are aware of that. It is not that when we hire people, they are completely, when we ask them, what is SEO? SEO is something, search engine optimization. For example, when you are writing, like it's everywhere. If fashion technology students, it is mandatory for them to have, like audience. When you are writing a research paper, even if you are not a journalist, but you will also have, you want to have an audience. How will you do that? How will you ensure that you have written a fantastic research-based document and that document should reach to other peers, other colleagues from your field? How do you do that? Because SEO is what will help you reach maximum people. SEO has basically, there's something called metadata. The title data has to be catchy. It has to be SEO, search engine optimization friendly. It has to be technically viable, and it will reach to maximum people. Because now the content is borderless. It is not that we are producing Inadu, it has to physically go to a vendor, it has to physically go to somebody's door. That is why this technology has made, it has opened gates, flood for people, for information. But that information has to basically reach to people. For that, the document which somebody is writing, it has to be written which is technically viable. For example, we are saying that this Intellectual Property Act. So I want to basically, I want to make it usable for you. Because if I start telling journalism, that is not your cup of tea. I tell you that I was in Middle East, then we did that. I had a BP, that BP was tested, whether it is a bulletproof, it's a LMG protected or it's a this protected. So that stuff not used to you. What is it that you can use it basically? We are using Juvenile Justice Act or POCSO, something called POCSO. When you are writing a document, you are basically writing in a document victims, minor victims. This POCSO is the protection of children against sexual offense. Even if you are a writer, scholar, teacher, journalist, but you are a publisher, you cannot publish them, even if they are catchy. Why? Because it's unlawful. Law has forbidden you from publishing any document which is related to minor who are being victimized, because there are being two categories. One is the children in need of care and protection, and children who have basically committed an offense. Those who are against law. For them, no publisher, no scholar, no writer, which basically brings out a document in public domain, they have to go through these laws. We also, as journalists, need to understand our own rights. We are protected under United Nations international conventions. We also know under what laws we are protected. Also, we also know under what laws we have to basically restrain ourselves from publishing, speaking, or writing. So that's why, not going too far and boring all of you, if you have any questions related to what is relevant to your subject, because you come from different fields, you teach people, what is it that you think we can be of, we can respond to something which will be helpful to you, you're most welcome. Because I wish there would be much journalism background students or trainers or teachers. We would basically give them enough feed to understand and to give us a better journalists for future. If you have anything to ask. Huh? Yeah. Wind cutter.
I'll answer the question if it is working. Yeah, this is very simple software made in nice remover. You don't need much, and the great software are great technologies. The only two things you need to do is just you have to take simple precautions before recording, and there is one or two software which is very easily available on internet. You will take nice remote softwares. And what editing software you are using depends upon that. There are almost all the top editing systems as giving the software. It's very simple.
You are using camera or you are using mobile?
I was using mobile.
There are basically channels. If you are using a camera, there are channels. One channel is called the ambience channel, another channel is basically the mic channel. If you are using a mobile, then you don't have a channel. You have to basically use a mic. There's a lapel mic. You can put the mic here. There's something called like this wind cutter. When you are using this, for example, if you all make noise, I speak, my voice will be dominating. That's why if you are using mobile, always use a mic, the lapel mic.
Apple mic. It's not much.
That also for 3,000, but it wasn't working. So
It's 1,000 rupees something else you will get now.
It's a practical thing. You all start shouting, I'll ensure that my voice will be heard to everybody. You see the parliament. Mr. Dhankad is basically, shouting everybody because this is a dominant. That's the only thing. But if you are using cameras, there are ambience mics. You can switch them off. You won't get them. But for mobile, you need to basically have a mic like this. You put it here. You'll automatically get the ambience reduced.
You have to switch off your fans. You have to switch off your ACs. These are the basic precautions we have to take before recording. The simple techniques and skills. Nothing more investment needed.
So this man was talking about Google. Google is coming up with updates. You all should basically go through those updates. For example, 15th of March, they have come up with some updates for all the publishers. Publishers doesn't mean only news publishers. Publishers means all of you because you are all research scholars. You publish far more and quality content than all of us. We are just giving up one genre of this, that's news. You are giving a quality, you are giving things which are useful for everybody. So that update is useful for you because everyone on earth right now is using a search engine. It's not only Google. There are a lot of search engines. But how do these search engines design in the back end the algorithms and how do your content performs there? You need to understand them through their updates. They periodically come up with updates. Those updates will help you as publishers. That, for example, this video only, you want to now post this video in your LinkedIn, in your YouTube. How do you ensure that this video is seen by most of the people? It won't happen automatically. You have to put meta tags. Those tags, what we call SEO, there are two types of keywords. One is a generic keyword and it is useful to all of you. Whenever you write anything, there is something called a tagline. You have to use generic keywords as well as specific keywords. For example, when we write Osmania, you can all search in your mobile. Osmania. When you write Osmania, there will be at the top you will get the numbers. Those numbers will be in millions. Then you write Osmania University. That number will get reduced. You can practically see it on a mobile. When you see Osmania University Hyderabad, then the number at the top will get reduced. It will be in hundreds. Then you see Osmania University, you write the auditorium name. That is called tail keyword. It's a specific keyword. The tail keyword will always give you better results. The generic keywords will always give you lesser results. Why? Because you need to have a domain authority. For example, there are 3 persons in the name of Prime Minister Modi. When you will write, only one person will appear there. Why? Because his name has a dominance in the search engine. What is it that other person has to do? He has to basically put prefixes to make it specific. So these are the things which will help you always as publishers have maximum reach of your content. Anyone? Any questions? We can